Como é que vocês estão, meus amigos? Bom, hoje estamos aqui trazendo um vídeo desse site aqui chamado Neofan, que seria tipo Neofan. Na verdade é Neal, alguma coisa assim. Que é um site que eu vi num dos vídeos do Saito. Não sei se vocês conhecem o Saito. Provavelmente sim, que é um youtuber bem famoso aí. Eu vi esse vídeo, o vídeo dele no caso, em um vídeo dele que por acaso é bem antigo, mas eu achei interessante e quis trazer aqui. Vai que não dá engajamento, né? Então, não é querendo copiar ninguém, mas um jogo que eu achei bem interessante foi esse Clicker Simulator, ou Simulation Clicker. Então a gente vai jogar ele hoje. A gente, no caso, sou eu, vocês só vão assistir. É, rapaziada, bad vibes, calma aí. Ih, deu B.O. Ah, não, tá carregando. Tá suave, não deu B.O. não. É que a minha internet não tá lá das melhores aí, ó. Pega esse aqui já. Esse aqui também. Subway Surfer. Por quê? Porque não pode ficar sem Subway Surfer. Cê é louco, ficar sem Subway Surfer é crime. Eu queria ter uma tela maior, mas eu não consigo. Porque... olha o Subway Surfer aqui, que da hora. Você está estimulado, rapaziada. Eu vou colocar tudo que aparecer aqui também, tô nem aí. Aqui, ó, não sei o que é esse negócio aqui, mas coloca. É, beleza, os DVD vão fazer barulho agora. Vou tentar pegar esse negócio aí. O barulhinho do bagulho. O bagulho ali em cima pra estimular mais ainda. Vou colocar 10 aqui, ó. 10. Esse aqui é Critical Chance. Pronto, aí ó, 22. Musiquinha relaxante, quanto que custa, não sei. Vamos lá, cadê o tigrinho? Atualizar essa bomba aqui. Tive que fazer o bagulho voltar a ser pra celular, né? Ficar parecido, tá ligado? Aqui, ó, vamos dar update no clicker. Agora ele faz barulho. Subway Surface. Vamos ver se agora essa menininha aqui, ó, vamos, clique, funciona? Vamos lá, né? Pega os DVD aqui. Vamos pegar. Eu não consigo ver muito bem o preço das coisas. Eu acho que eu vou ter que fazer a tela do meu celular ficar normal pra mim conseguir mexer. Aqui, ó. Deixa eu ver se isso aqui vai ajudar alguma coisa. Só que era pro outro lado. Eu tô moscando. Ficou mó estranho, mas Vamos ver se ajuda em alguma coisa. Updates. Ô louco, olha a abinha ali. Aparentemente ficou até que melhor. Pra quem concorda aí, ó. Um update. Vamos pegar aqui, ó. Mano, como eu tô com preguiça de ficar teclando aqui, vou fazer um bagulho aqui rapidão. Vocês vão assistir, porque eu tô com preguiça de ficar teclando. E rapaziada, pra quem quiser saber pra que esse negócio aqui azul serve, é porque os botões de aumentar e abaixar o volume do meu celular entrou pra dentro. Eu tive que baixar esse aplicativo aqui pra conseguir mexer no volume do celular. Olha aqui, ó. Quando eu aperto nele, ele abre esse negócio aí. Pronto, vamos voltar aqui no negócio. Habilita, vem aqui, né? E agora vamos farmar clique. Cê é louco, o bagulho tá travando no meu celular. Por enquanto vamos ir assistindo Subway Surfers aí, o cara... Alguém fazendo alguma coisa. Ó que da hora. Rapaz, largou meu celular, velho. Rapaz. Um problema recente desse autoclique aqui é que ele só desliga quando você desliga ele. Nesse caso aqui nem isso tá resolvendo. Vamos ter que esperar um tempinho aí, por enquanto vamos assistir uma gameplay muito linda de Subway Surfers. Aí ó, os bagulhos sumiu já. Mas aparentemente os barulhos de clique ainda não. Então eu acho que é aquilo que a gente vai precisar esperar sumir pra conseguir continuar o vídeo. Maninha ali do Subway Surfers tá mandando bem, hein? Cê é louco, tá amassando, moleque. Pegando achievements, olha isso aí. Moleque jogando Subway Surfers antigo. Aí é sim. Mano, não vou conseguir jogar o jogo mais não, é? Pô, tá de sacanagem. Qual foi, queria usar autoclique pra facilitar meu corre, só dificultou. Então calma aí, rapaziada. Eu só vou ver se eu consigo resetar esse bagulho aqui pra conseguir continuar o vídeo, né? Rapaziada. Aparentemente, se eu sair do jogo, ele reseta, então vou ter que começar tudo de novo. O que eu não queria que acontecesse, mas não tenho o que fazer, né? Então, eu não vou mais usar o autoclique, porque como deu pra ver, não compensa. Vou querer dar update no bagulhinho aqui pra ficar com barulho da hora. Olha aí que barulho legal. Daqui a pouco eu vou pegar o Subway Surfers, né? É aquilo que eu disse, ficar sem Subway Surfers é crime. Tem que estimular, tá ligado? Estimular. Tem que fazer vocês ficar presos no meu vídeo, pô. Cê é louco. Aí, ó, 3. De 3 em 3 por segundo, nós vamos conseguir fazer alguma coisa. Investimento. Beleza, vamos comprar aqui o bagulho de alguma coisa, né? O problema é que minha mão já tá doendo já, velho. Tá de sacanagem. Ficar apertando esse negócio é B.O., hein? Eu tô clicando mais em lugar nenhum. É, sim. Não precisa prestar atenção se o bagulho tava fazendo barulho ou não. Música.
body.
A woman's body, sir?
She's here. Not all of her. Not all of her.
Calm down, sir. Can you tell me if the woman is breathing?
She has her tail. She has no face.
And you're in Killer Country. This week, we're diving into the bizarre death of Maribel Diaz. Maribel dreamed of becoming a Hollywood actress, but trapped in the small seaside town of Mystic Bay, Florida, her options were limited. She'd book an occasional used car commercial or a clown at a child's birthday party, but legitimate opportunities were few and far between. Eventually, however, Maribel found the path to acting in an unexpected place, Wild Tides Water Park. There, Maribel donned a long silver tail and a shimmering tube top. 5 days a week, rain or shine, she'd swim in a massive glass tank, smiling at tourists and posing for pictures. At Wild Tides, Maribel became Miss Maribel, the magic mermaid of Mystic Bay. Then, on August 24th, 2012, everything changed. Hurricane Braden tore through Mystic Bay, destroying 65 homes, 34 Shake Shacks, and leaving at least one person missing, Maribel Diaz. Frank Wild, the longtime owner of Wild Tides Water Park, was among the last to see her alive.
She was a pretty redhead. Some say she had webbed feet. She never wanted to talk. Now, I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but she was a little cold. Snobby, you might say. When the hurricane was coming, I told her, hey, sweetie, you can stay with me. Because, you know, this place is a fortress. I got hurricane shutters, sandbags, the whole shebang. A bunker with a sauna, screening room, bowling alley. Regulation bowling alley, do you understand? Yeah, the real deal. Yeah, I told her. I got 2 months worth of beans. Yeah, all kinds of beans. Right? Black beans, kidney beans, pint-toed beans, lima beans, soybeans, jelly beans. Yeah, I was worried, you know, because she lived all by herself. I owned the building she lived in, and I knew it was, I knew she wouldn't have beans. But she told me she'd be okay on her own. Maybe if she just stayed at my place. You know, you wonder what might have been. But she said no, she didn't even like beans.
I spoke with Frank at his home over 3-bean salad. From where we sat on an expansive back patio festooned with marble statues of dolphins, women, and dolphin women, we could see the very top of Wild Tide's Megalodon Mega Twister. It's a massive water slide, just over 100 feet tall, that shoots park visitors into the waiting jaws of a fiberglass megalodon.
Please, this park employs half the damn town easily. We added that big slide, the friggin' orcas. It's a sight to see, especially the mermaids. And Maribel, well, she was the most popular one. You really just never think of something happening to a girl like that in a place like this. Well, except for that time when those kids got eaten during the alligator parade. Or the time the clowns went feral. Oh, or that time when the old guy...
Behind us, something bumps. Hard. Against a glass wall.
Don't mind her. That's cannellini. Here, girl. Come here. Come on, sweet bean.
Frank Wild, heir to the Wild Bean Company fortune, is an avowed animal lover. His home, a concrete monolith rising from the steaming marsh, includes a massive glass pyramid teeming with all sorts of aquatic marvels, including, most notably, a 6-foot albino alligator named Cannellini. He also owns a narwhal, 7 dolphins, roughly 16 flamingos, 3 tigers, a bit differently. She was just sweet as pie. She really was. And such a pretty little thing. For a brunette? Except for the gills. She was always giving me real nice tips, about what to do with my clothes or my hair. And she'd come up to me while we'd be putting our tails on and say something like, "Oh, Jessamine, you would look so good as a blonde." Or, "Oh, Jessamine, don't go to that shoot shop on August 24th. I had a vision." And, she was always the second runner-up at pageants. Almost Miss Key Lime Pie. Almost the Orange Blossom Queen. Almost Ambassador to Kazakhstan. People don't realize it, but it takes a lot of character to keep showing up after losing out over and over and over and over and over and over again. I'm proud of my titles. Always will be. I don't take the honor of being the Orange Blossom Queen 6 straight years in a row lightly, but, I admired Mirabelle, too. And she had a good heart. She'd volunteer all the time. She'd perform for the little old people down at the senior center. Sing that song from that mermaid movie, I'm in Your World, or whatever it's called. I don't know. My children only watch godly movies. But she'd sing that. She didn't have children, so maybe she didn't realize. Or a husband, which I also have. Oh, and she was a perfectionist. So she'd sing that same song over and over until she got it right. 20, 30 times. The old people would tell her she didn't have to, that she could stop at any time, but she was happy to do it. She was a natural performer. Oh, so gifted. I was never like that. I mean, everyone's different. Some of us are more into the artistry of it all. I'm a Wild Tides water park mermaid because I believe it's important to provide families with wholesome, all-ages entertainment at an affordable price. But others, they like the attention. Not that I'm blaming her for what happened. Gosh, no. She was a nice person. She didn't deserve that. Not at all. You just never think something like that would happen in a little teensy-weensy town like Mystic Bay. I mean, besides that time that poor boy was pushed into that hydraulic press, and my old man who spontaneously combusted in the Publix parking lot. But other than that, you just never think of bad stuff happening here. It was so sad what happened to her. Of course, we all suspected Jared. He was weird. He followed her around like a puppy. A weird puppy. Mirabelle's disappearance left a mark on the minuscule town of Mystic Bay, with search missions tampered by downed power lines and felled trees. As days turned into weeks, the town's optimism began to fade. That said, losing hope is something of a custom for residents of Mystic Bay. For years, competing theme parks, virus outbreaks, daylight savings, and a quickly shifting culture led to a downturn in park numbers.
Hey, come on now. Wild Tides is still top quality. Some of the best damn entertainment in the state. I don't care what anyone thinks, right? But the fact of the matter is, kids don't go for that anymore. Yeah, they'd rather be on their phones playing Candy Crush or Roblox Adopt Me or Neil.Fun than at a park with their folks. So people stopped coming. And then, of course, that's when they found her. Or what was left of her.
What was left of Mirabelle was found by Jared Holt on November 15th, 2012, 3 months after she went missing. That's his voice you heard in the 911 call at the top of the episode.
She has her tail. She has no face.
When Chipko County Police arrived at the scene, they discovered a grisly sight. Mirabelle Diaz, lodged in the jaws of the Megalodon Megatwister, her mermaid tail curved daintily beneath her on the ancient beast's pink fiberglass tongue. The park's earliest attendees, a group of school children from the St. Brendan the Navigator Institute for Marine Biology, followed Jared's gaze the park's famed mermaid staring back at them. That is, if she could have stared back. Jessalyn Garcia remembers the day vividly.
Oh, he was all cat and tonic when he first saw her. You know, like he couldn't move or blink or say a single word. Oh, poor thing. He just stood there, looking into the hole where her face had been. It was all sunk in a pit. No offense to Mirabelle, but you know, I think it was the worst I've ever seen her look. And it was the first day since the hurricane that the park was open to the public. That's what's so sad about it. November is always a slow month. The water's cold, the sun sets early. It's peak season for the flesh-eating algae that sometimes grows on the lazy river inner tubes. But we had lost so much money because of the storm that we were all just so excited for the park to open back up again. And someone had just up and shoved poor little old Mirabelle into the big old shark's mouth. How's that for taking the steak right out of your popsicle?
Now, Jessalyn had a pretty good idea of who was responsible. But first... Speaking of popsicles, when's the last time you enjoyed a mouthful of fresh, home-cooked food? Between work and errands, there's never time to cook a proper meal. That's where Dinner Dash comes in. Dinner Dash is a weekly meal delivery service focused on fresh, organic ingredients with recipes chosen by real chefs. Best of all, Dinner Dash meals never expire. Using our secret technology, we have made eggs that last forever. Get 20% off your first Dinner Dash weekly meal kit with code KILLER20. Dinner Dash. Meals that are eternal. Back to the case. Here's Jessalyn.
Now, the first thing you gotta understand about Mystic Bay is that it's a small town. Real small. Even. So everyone knows everyone here. I went to school with Jared and Mirabelle, worked alongside them here at the park, and Jared, well, I can say this, right, because I know him. He's probably just about the worst mascot we've ever had. The only reason he kept his job is because no one else wanted to wear the costume. And I'm not saying he wanted to wear the costume. I mean, he really wanted to wear the costume. Like, really. Like, not in a God-honoring way.
Jared Holt had dressed as Wild Tide's water park's iconic mascot, Manny the Manatee, since dropping out of Mystic Bay High School in 1999. His costume consisted of a massive suit carved of fleece and foam, complete with flippers, a floppy headpiece, and Manny's signature orange flip-flops. All told, the costume weighed in at a staggering 140 pounds and was said to have reached internal temperatures of up to 100 degrees, 310 Kelvin in the searing Florida heat. Past Manny the Manatees have been recorded passing out from the extreme temperature, including one Manny who, in 1973, collapsed face first into a child's birthday cake, and another who, in 1985, became partially baked within the suit while conducting a water safety demonstration at the park's wave pool. For years, Wild Tide's water park officials could not find workers willing to put on the suit.
Whoa. Change the design? No. Out of the question. That Manny the Manatee suit was designed by my own daddy, Frank Wild Sr. Jr. He had two dreams: to sell quality beans at affordable prices across the continental United States of America, and to make a true man-manatee hybrid he referred to as the humanity. And that damn suit, that's the second closest he ever got to it. So no, I'd never change it. If you think the suit's too heavy or too stinky or too what have you, well, that's a personal failing. Man up. And manatee up. Come on, change the suit? What, are you kidding me with this?
You could smell the suit before you saw it. I'd say it was closest to... You ever have a Florida-style pizza? Well, you take a handful of saltine crackers and sort of spread them out on a paper plate with spray cheese, turtle jerky, and a little bit of gas station pickle, and a sprinkling of boiled peanuts. Just leave it out for a little bitty bit, let the sunshine do its magic, and voila, you got yourself a meal. Now, it's delicious, but you're only smelling it for about a mile, 2 miles out if the wind hits just right. I don't really eat that sort of food, personally. The moon of the manatee smelled sort of like that, like Florida-style pizza, or rotten broccoli.
Despite the suit's numerous downsides, there was one person more than willing to don it around the park. Jared Holt.
Jared, well, he strayed from the light of the Lord. I can tell you that much for nothing. Tampering with the divine design. He had a lot of off predications. He was a fuzzy.
I met with Jared Holt at the Chipko County Jail. It's a small peach-colored structure across from a former Sears Joint Spirit Halloween.
I first learned about it online. I've always liked to draw. Kind of. Like funny animals. Or animals with, like, bazooka arms. Just funny stuff, you know? Whatever pops into my head. Like, maybe I'll draw a manatee with big muscles and bazooka arms. Or maybe I'll feel more like drawing a bazooka that shoots out manatees with, really huge muscles. There's a lot of symbolism there if you think about it. Not that a lot of people think about it. I have a real respect for all sirenians. That's the term for aquatic mammals like manatees and dugongs, by the way. Sirenian. Like a siren, like a mermaid. They think sailors invented mermaids because they saw manatees out in the water and fell in love with them.
I asked Jared whether his appreciation for Sirenians extended to Mirabelle. He grows quiet, sullen, and then...
Mirabelle, no. I don't think of her that way. She was pretty, sure. Long, pinkish hair, cross-eyed. She was a friend to me. Nothing less, nothing more. After all, she was the one to pull me out of that pool drain.
The incident to which Jared is referring occurred in June of 2001 and has since become a local legend around the microscopic town of Mystic Bay. Jared Holt, then 19, had gone on break. Like many wild-tide water park workers, fighting the miasmic heat of a June afternoon with can after can of fluorescent yellow alcoholic energy drinks, he suffered a lapse in judgment. Against park rules, he stripped off his heavy mascot suit and, accompanied by several other intoxicated park employees, dove into the inviting, aqua-colored waters of the Wild Tide wave pool. Jessa Lynn, like nearly everyone else in the unbelievably tiny town of Mystic Bay, has heard every detail of what transpired that fateful afternoon.
The wave pool, oh, the stars in heavens. Well, we're not supposed to be fraternizing with the customers, the park goers. That's the first thing. It's important to have boundaries, or else the customers will try to get away with every little thing, from bringing corn dogs on the water slide to putting little bits and pieces in the jellyfish tank. And then there's the fact that one of the manatees should never be seen out of costume. That's the second thing. It scares the little children, seeing a bright pink human man wearing nothing but swim trunks and a manatee mascot head. It's unnatural. And then, of course, there's the prophecy. That's the third thing.
But first, when it comes to looking out for your future, do you know who to trust? Invest in your tomorrow today with Chipko County Bank and Loan. With Chipko County Bank and Loan, you can rest assured your money is working as hard as you are using the power of state-certified psychic accountants. Astrological accounting harnesses the power of the planets to grow your wealth astronomically. Open an account today and receive a complimentary framed birth chart. Aries in your second house, Pisces in your eighth. It's no matter. With Chipko County Bank and Loan, even Gemini placements can look forward to financial security. And if you use code KILLER50 within 30 days, you can receive an extra $50 cash bonus just for signing up. Chipko County Bank and Loan. We'll have you seeing stars. And now, back to the case.
The prophecy, as everyone knows, foretells the return of a creature known only as the anomaly. Its name cannot be uttered by human tongues, and human minds cannot conceive of its form. And the anomaly starves for the flesh of non-believers. Every 130 years, like clockwork, it returns to feed.
But even little kids know this, right? What happens is, you go into the wave pool, you hold onto your boogie you hear the murmurs, and you heed those dang murmurs, Miss Ma'am. I'll tell you that much. You heed the dang on murmurs.
Well, sure, yeah, I know about the prophecy. But you've got to keep in mind, hundreds, if not tens of people go into that wave pool, and most of them come out totally fine. So, I guess, I thought I'd be okay. And then I got stuck in the pool drain. Just part of me.
And it was none other than Mirabel Diaz who saved Jared from developing the same pelvic vestige as his beloved Sirenians.
She dove right in and pulled me out by the manatee head. Everyone else just stood by the edge of the pool yelling, "Prophecy! Prophecy!" But Mirabel acted. She did something. She saved my life.
Back to Jessalyn. They said he came out of that pool drain with a pop. Like that. And look, was it a good thing he didn't drown Dingle first in that cursed wave pool to feed the insatiable, horrible force that rules over a universe of dying planets? Yes. And also, no. Because the anomaly will always get what it wants. Always. From that point on, Jared and Mirabel were said to be inseparable. The beautiful mermaid always followed closely by the familiar scent of sweat-infused foam.
And
You've got mail.
first, it was just really that I was grateful. Mirabel wasn't ever exactly nice to me before that.
You've got mail.
She never so much as looked in my direction. Mermaids and mascots, they don't really mix,
You've got mail.
So I sort of helped her around the
You've got mail.
park a bit, just as a thank you. I'd wheel her around when she had her tail
You've
on.
got mail.
Steal snacks for her sometimes. She would
You've got mail.
loved Funyuns. Sometimes we'd play a game where she pretended to be like a seal or something, and I'd toss Funyuns into her mouth. Although I wanted to be the seal. She said no, she was the seal, and I couldn't have any Funyuns. But most... We got along surprisingly great. I even drew a picture of her as a muscly manatee with a bazooka. She said it was dumb, but...
At this point, Jared begins to sob. As I give him a moment to compose himself, I think about the impact Mirabel Diaz had on such a nano-sized town as Mystic Bay.
You've got mail.
What is a girl to a
Got
town?
mail.
What value does she have beyond her first runner-up sash? Beyond her radiant smile and the gloomy blue mermaid tank. To Frank, she was a pretty face. A maker. Perhaps not so different from the orcas and the most sharks. To Jessalyn, she was a rival. A wave building on the horizon. And to Jared, she was part savior, part rose, a complicated mixture of things like so many of his drawings. Jared wipes away his tears with the back of one hand and continues.
She said the drawing was super dumb. I think she even laughed at me. It hurt, I guess. A lot. But when I went to clear out her locker, after finding her on the slide, I saw it. There it was, taped to the inside of her locker. It was the only thing she had in there.
And that changed something in Jared.
That's when I decided I'd find her killer myself. I'd be a detective. Like a Dugon detective. A Sirenian sleuth. A manatee on a mission.
You've got mail.
Vowed that I would solve her murder if it was the last thing I did.
And, as it turned out, Jared was fairly adept at uncovering clues. And, well, But first, are you bored at home, at work, at school, at a wedding? Don't worry, because Meal.fun has got you covered. With dozens of games to choose from, Meal.fun is the internet. That's one-stop shop for home entertainment and life enrichment. 1 hour a day of Meal.fun usage has been shown to cure
You've got mail.
boredom, memory loss, and death itself in lab rats. That's right. Just 1 hour of Meal.fun usage has been shown
You've got mail.
to stop father time and prevent aging. Best of all, it's completely free and accessible right from your browser.
Corner hit. Level up.
No downloads required. Ask your parents for permission to log on today.
Cops arrived at the scene.
You've got mail.
I want to say like 3 hours after, maybe 4.
Level up.
Apparently they were busy with another murder. Some kids pushed the giant bean off the top of the wild bean company factory and onto an old lady. She exploded like a piñata, they say. They found a rig around here, actually. One of the flamingos was
Corner.
wearing it. Yeah, but anyway, after the cops finally arrived and cleared away the screaming elementary school kids, they wanted to talk to me. They asked me if I knew anything about Mirabelle. If I knew anything about the slide. Like, yeah, of course.
Comprei, amigos. Uau. Não deu pra ver nada. Tô passando os créditos do jogo, mas tá tudo bugado, né? Porque não é o computador. Mas então, né, rapaziada? Tá tudo bugado? Tá, mas pelo menos deu pra gravar o vídeo, né? Isso que importa. Então, meus amigos, desculpa aí pela demora do vídeo. Quantidade alta de tempo que ele teve. Não era o que eu queria. Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, dependendo da hora que você tá vendo o vídeo. É isso. Até amanhã. Falou.